Okay, so I'm really still new to this whole camera setup because I have a new camera setup. I'm going to review the old one practically, even though I still want to use this. This is like my baby, my starting point, whatever. So if there's any noise or any complications within the video, I'm very sorry. It's because I still am not used to filming with this camera, so I still have to get kind of like the hang of it. A camera review starting with me saying I know nothing about cameras. Wow. Anyway, welcome to my channel. I'm Han if you didn't know yet, and today I'm going to do a camera review of this little guy right here. It's so small. It's small if I look at the new camera I'm filming with because it's like a bigger camera, and this one was like a small baby. Okay, so if you're here or if you clicked on this video to get a comprehensive review of all the technical stats and whatnot you can do with this camera, then you are at the wrong place because I am by no means a professional. So this review is going to be more of like my experience working with this camera for about a year now and how I like it for photography and videography. I'm going to go into these 2 points because like that's what you use a camera for basically. Now, if you didn't know from the title, this is the Sony a5000. And I bought it like a year ago because I was searching for a camera that was an upgrade from my old like very crappy camera, and I was searching for something that was still in budget but could like do a lot of things because like as a lot of you guys, if you watch my channel before, you're going to know that I'm going to study like video and photography as well. So I wanted something where I could also have new possibilities creating stuff, like especially photography as well. I wanted something that isn't like bad quality but still in a budget, you know? Now this camera is a mirrorless camera, meaning that you can buy lenses for it. Like, even though I have to say for this mount you don't have a lot of lenses available, and I only ever used the kit lens it came with because all the other lenses that you could additionally buy were so out of my budget that I just used this all time around and I didn't have any problems with using this. I'm just going to say this kit lens is very usable. Like, just sometimes I wished maybe that I had like a lower f-stop or something, but I didn't have any problems with it. Like, for the type of shooting that I used it for, this was totally enough. Unless you're some kind of professional and you want to take like super good portraits with all this blurry background action, you're not gonna get this with this lens, but you have to start somewhere, right? One good thing about this camera, which also why I bought it, is the flip-up screen. A few of you guys already know that if you do YouTube or any kind of videography where it involves yourself shooting yourself, a flip-up screen is really like so helpful because you can see what the camera is filming, you can see how the shot is going, but this isn't a touch screen. So with this screen you can't really get yourself in focus. Sometimes I just sat there trying to manually or autofocus on myself because I just couldn't touch the screen. That was a bit annoying. But I mean, for the budget, having a flip out screen is like the first thing that you need. And it was totally enough. I totally like the autofocus in the thing is so good that you probably don't even need the touch screen here. Now, I'm not gonna tell you how long this battery is usable, how long it should take and record video, because I don't know that shit. I never really thought of trying out how long it could actually film. But from an everyday use, I can tell you that it will last you for, if you take like some photos, some videos on a trip, maybe half a day. So not a full day, which is why I recommend if you will use this a lot on one day, you should buy 2 batteries. The batteries aren't really that expensive if you buy another one on Amazon or something, so it's totally doable, but I would recommend 2 batteries if you use it like a lot on one day. One thing I like about this camera, because it's a Sony camera, is the menu and the wireless connection you have. Like, this camera has inbuilt Wi-Fi, and I can't tell you how useful it is to just connect your smartphone, which I have over here, with this camera, and you have the photos on the smartphone. I sometimes also edit my photos on my smartphone, so having the possibility of connecting my smartphone to the camera and just transferring the pictures like in seconds is so useful. You can just upload it to social media right away, or you can do some editing or tuning on your phone or something. And while we are at this point of menu, I also really love the Sony menu. I love the menu layout. Now, it's not for everyone, I know. Like, not everybody loves how Sony does their things, how they lay out menus and everything, but I really like it. It's very, like, you can see all the things that you need. It's very, like, you have pictures, you know, like, I'm using Canon right now, and I find the Canon menu to be a bit more confusing if you've worked with the Sony menu before. It's just personal preference, but from my experience, I love the menu that Sony has and how it uses camera, like all the modules. I found it all very easy. Everything is so easy on this camera. Everybody can take a photo with this camera. Which brings me to the next point, photography. I love photography so much, like really. And I'm going to also insert some pictures at this point which I took with this camera, so you can get an image of what you can do with this camera, even though some of these pictures are already edited. You have different modes on this camera. You can go full manual or you can go like automatic mode, you know? The automatic mode in this camera I find to be very good. Now they are very good in most newer cameras, but I also think that having a good automatic mode is very helpful for users that aren't really familiar with photography. Because sometimes my last camera had such a crappy automatic mode that I always had to do everything manually because just the automatic mode would get you just a shit picture. This automatic mode will get you a good picture. Now, if you want to tune your picture even more though, if you want like a very good picture, perfect picture, then I would still go into manual mode. Although I also always used like the AV mode. If you know what that is, you can get along with me. I forgot how to explain it in English for you short. I just have the German words in my mind right now. That mode is also very helpful. If you're just starting out with photography and you don't want to go full manual yet, then you can use like these half modes where the camera figures out everything the rest for you, but you can just figure out your apertures or shutter speed. It also has like a movie mode, like film. However, I have to say that I don't like filming in movie mode. I think you get better film picture if you film in any kind of scene mode or automatic mode, or you know, if you do everything manually, then you get a better film picture than filming in movie mode. I don't really know, I never really used the movie mode. Maybe you could get better pictures with it and only I didn't know how to use the movie mode correctly, but probably for me though, movie mode is the mode I use the least. Okay, now while we are at movie mode, how does this camera work for filming? Now you can take movies at HD, 180p, you know, I don't really know the terms now. This is where my technical stuff stops. And I can just tell you this camera takes good video. All of my videos prior to this one were filmed with this camera. So if you want to get like how the camera works, how it looks, you can look at some of my older videos and you will see how it looks like. If I would say, if I'd use this for photography or filming, I'd rather use this for filming actually. I think for photography you're still better off if you buy something like a cheaper DSLR, but for movie I loved it. It was so easy and fun filming with it. Like you just had to press this button. It has like an extra button for when you want to record stuff. It recorded really easily. The autofocus is very good. Even if you film handheld, it doesn't shake too much. And also the inbuilt microphone. I only used the inbuilt microphone as you can't connect another microphone with it, but I think the inbuilt microphone is actually very okay. Like it's not the best microphone on earth, but it's very, you can work with it, you know? If you take a video with this, like for example, just talking to a camera with this microphone, nobody will say, oh, your audio is so bad, just get the another microphone or something, you know? Like the audio is okay, you can listen to the audio. Now to the downsides of this camera. There's a big, huge downside when you take video, and that is the overheating. This camera shuts itself off when it overheats, which basically means that if you use it for a long time, like maybe 20 minutes, you film for 20 minutes, or you are outside in the sun, it's a very hot weather, this thing will just shut itself off. Of course it will save your video before that, but then you have to wait until it cools off before you can film on, and it's so annoying sometimes. Like one time I filmed like a longer video, I cut it down, but I had to film the video for a longer period of time. And once it overheats, it gets slower and slower. Like the periods between the overheating and filming again get slower and slower, and it's so annoying because you always have to stop what you're doing, wait for it to cool down, and then film on, and that's very annoying, especially if you have to take longer videos. So that's something you should take into consideration if you do longer videos, like for example mukbangs or something. Then this camera is not for you because it will overheat. And I live somewhere where it's actually not that hot outside. So if you live in California or somewhere where it's like hot all year around, this will overheat even faster. All in all though, conclusion for this thing, I love it. And I don't want to sell it now that I have like my near camera. I still want to use it because it's just so light, it's portable, it can do the job very well. And I've fallen in love with the menu and how you use it and everything. I know it's not a camera for everybody because you don't have an inbuilt mic. You can't upgrade really because the lenses are just so expensive if you want to go from the with the kit lens and then you want to upgrade, like it will be just a bit more expensive to buy other lenses for this. Also, with the E-mount of Sony, you have only like a small variety of lenses that you can use, and for others you need to buy an adapter in between. It gets more expensive. So for who I would recommend this camera is for the everyday user that just wants to get like good quality photos and videos, that doesn't want to use a lot of different modules and menus and wants to get everything set manually before they can get the perfect shot. Just somebody who likes to make videos on the go, who just likes to press record and they can make a decent video out of it. Or for someone who just wants to take a very good photo, not adjusting everything, and even if you want to adjust everything, to get like a better photo with the thing. So it's of course not for the professional, but for the starter it's very good. I started out with this camera. I'm just now getting more and more into the world of cameras, and of course I'm going to learn about it when I go to university. But I can tell that this is a good camera. It's a decent camera. It's not the best that is on the market. It's an older camera. It's an older model, but for the price, it's really like you can't complain about a lot. So I love it. Now, if you like this review or if you just want to see more of me, you can click subscribe or like, and I'm not very good at advertising, so I'm just going to stop here and say bye and be back on my channel.